Assalamu alaikum habibati, and welcome to another Arab Man Reacts. The last time I did a James Blunt song, it broke me. It was called Monster, or Monsters, or Monster open parentheses S close parentheses. And then in the comments to that reaction video, you were all telling me to do the girl that never was. And so I'm gonna do the girl that never was. And not break down, hopefully. Don't do it to me, James. Don't do it to me.
Darling, I know we talked about it one too many times. How there was something missing in our lives. A little life.
I think it's his voice. His voice just immediately, you know what I mean? As soon as you listen to his voice, he's got that little shake, that little, you know, like that sadness that he transmits, and it just gets inside of you and it makes you like sad and you know? Stop it, James.
A little life. So we tried. It was more than just a twinkle in your eye. But some things you just don't get to decide. At least we tried.
No. I don't want to go there, man. I don't want to go there. Like, I think I already know what the song is about, you know? And I just recently became Arab Dad Reacts. And as soon as that happened, I began to have feelings that I've never had before. And oh, this is hard, man. It's hard.
The first casualty of life is the plan. When I look back, I'm not even sure that we were thinking. Somewhere, she's probably dancing with her blonde hair falling like ribbons on her shoulders, just like we always saw. Bright eyes spinning in circles in the sunlight. Darling, we tried, but now it's over. We had it all and then we lost the girl that never was. If I
The thing about, so I don't know if you have kids, you don't have kids, you know, I don't know if, you know, you're I don't know how old you are. I don't know where you are in your life right now, but I'll share something based on like my very recent experience. So the second you find out you're pregnant, and now I can say this, but the second you find out you're pregnant, to me, that's the point in time when you become a parent. That's what became apparent to me. And you start to think of all the good things that you want to be able to provide for your son or for your daughter. And you start to imagine all the incredible things that you want to do with them and that you really want to provide with them. Like, I think the number one thing we all start to think of when we become parents is, how can I make this individual's life better than mine? You know, like that's the ultimate thing, right? It's make this next round of people that carry my DNA, make them have a better circumstance than the one that I had, right? And really, if we were able to do that, then that's the greatest achievement for you. And you start to think of all the things that you want to build around them in the world. And as that process happens, as you know, like I had my studio, my office at home, and I shifted my office to the studio over here, which is outside of my house, right? I rent a little studio space to shoot these videos and make YouTube videos. I moved my office to here. Like, this is where I shoot the videos, and my office is there where I do my day job work. And I changed my entire room to be the room for my baby girl, you know? And you start to obsess about things. You think about the wallpaper, and you think about the cabinet, and you think about the bed, and you think about all the little things, and you start preparing. And you hype up, you hype up, you hype up in you, and it's just all these little things that you want to do. Some of them you need, some of them you don't need. It's a thing. You go through it, and sometimes, and I don't know if that's just me or if it's all of us, you start to think of, what if something happens, and then the anxiety starts to get the better of you. And I remember that in that last month of pregnancy, the only thing I could think of was 10 fingers, 10 toes. I couldn't figure where that sentence came from in my head, but it just popped in my head. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere, reading a book, watching something, but 10 fingers, 10 toes, 10 fingers, 10 toes was the only thing that kept plugged in my head, like over and over every day, like, oh God, please, 10 fingers, 10 toes. And what that meant for me was that a child that was ready to take on the world, a child that was ready to be born and was healthy and that I could show all the love to, and this journey begins. And the first thing, like as soon as the baby girl came out of mama, and I looked at her, and the first thing I did was 10 fingers, 10 toes, and I looked at them. And in that moment, I'm like, thank God everything's going to be okay. I don't know. It's my own anxiety building things in my head. And when that day starts, like even before that, during the pregnancy, you do think of all the bad that actually might happen. You actually visualize the bad things that can happen. And you try to kill them off, right? But in reality, it can happen, and it scares you to death. Like, please take my life before you take her life. You know what I mean? Please, may all the misery and sickness and death and disease out there in the world be afflicted on me and not her. And that's like the truest form of love. So for parents to go through all of that and then end up in this, what he's singing about, which I don't know if he went through this or not, or maybe someone he knows went through this that inspired it. My God, there cannot be anything worse than that in the entire world. There's nothing worse than it. And testimony to James's ability to make people feel these things by writing the song in the right way. Like I think he's using a major progression in the chord structure, but he's singing something very sad over it. And that's really, Disney do that a lot. Like they'll sing something sad over something happy, and they will sing something happy over something sad. And that dynamic between like the sad and the almost lift up of the music, it creates this eeriness about the entire thing that just lets you be more in touch with your emotions. And بتفرط. Like, that's the only word I can think of. You just fall to pieces. You fall to bits. I don't know why I felt I need to get that out there, but maybe if I logically talk about what's going on here, then I won't feel it as bad as I think or I perceive I might feel it.
Could say a million words to take away the pain. What kills me is you're trying to take the blame. You're not to blame.
Like, what could I have done better? Like,
I'll never say I told you so. Sad I thought the worst. Try drowning you in happiness. I only make it worse. We never should have picked a name, 'cause now she has a face. And now no matter what we do, no one will.
we never had to. Please listen to this.
You in happiness. I only make it worse. We never should have picked a name, 'cause now she has a face.
Oh my God. We never had to pick a name because now she has a face. Like, you fall in love with this person before you meet them, This is a thing that I was telling my friends when they were asking me throughout the pregnancy. I'm like, I miss someone I haven't met yet. And
now no matter what we do, no one will take her place. Somewhere she's probably dancing with her blonde hair, falling like ribbons on her shoulders, just like we always saw. Bright eyes spinning in circles in the sunlight. Darling, we tried, but now it's over. We had it all and then we lost the girl that never won. I know we'll never know you. I know we'll never probably dancing with your blonde hair falling like ribbons on your shoulders, just like we always saw. Bright eyes spinning in circles in the sunlight. Darling, we tried, but now it's over. We had it all and then we lost the girl that never was.
I wouldn't wish this on anyone. He wrote both these songs in 1 year? Are they on the same album? Is that what's going on? What are people saying? Underrated musicians on this godforsaken planet always right to the heart. Absolutely, 100%. Not just the lyrics, his tone, the way he uses his voice. Truly wears his heart on his sleeve every time he sings. Absolutely. How is it possible to wrap up so much pain, love, and understanding into one beautiful eulogy? To all of you who have gone through this, my dearest condolences, dude. It's the worst feeling ever. A friend of mine, who's a couple decades older than I am, has recently gone through this. The man and his wife are shattered. They're shattered. And even weeks and months after what happened had happened, you know, you'll be grabbing a cup of coffee, having a conversation, and you see the old them in that conversation. And then a car will pass by, or a song will play, or the waiter will say something, or, you know, they'll see something, and that immediately reminds them of their kid. And it's almost as if, not even almost as if, their face just completely flips, like they're waking up, like the reality is the sadness, the reality is the torture, the reality is that, and they wake up from their like delusion of a normal life, you know, and then you see that dread, and all you want to do is just hug them, and that's really what you should do. And you know, a couple minutes later, the delusion comes back, you know, like they're okay to have conversations again and stuff. It's horribly heartbreaking. It's horribly heartbreaking. James Blunt, man. James Blunt. He's phenomenal at making you feel things. Even if they haven't happened to you, he'll make you feel things. Like Monsters destroys you. This destroys you. I think I'm going to lay off James Blunt for a while. For a long, long while. Thank you so much for watching. بحبكن كتير 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 كتير. I will catch you all in the next one. Salamat.